Hello and welcome to our final episode of the day. It's the Father and Son Pastime podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin. How are you?
That's my dad. Dad, we're here. We made it through. We've done hours and hours of content, 8 episodes in total. I'm proud of us. We've done it. We are midway through our top 50 free agent predictions. We're at number 26, and we're going to round out the back half of this order. And give our predictions. We've done a lot of Giants and Blue Jays so far. I feel like I've done a lot of Mets and Yankees. Very mixed bag. We'll see who's right. We've had 5 in common. Dad, we are at Nick Pivetta. And again, for those at home that are somehow joining us midway through, just go ahead and look at the other video first. Get caught up. But we're using the MLB Trade Rumors top 50 free agent prediction list. Nick Pivetta is number... in our list now is 26 due to some earlier signings of Snell and Kikuchi. Dad, where do you have Nick Pivetta going?
Staying home. He's staying in Boston.
Ooh, okay. I disagree, but go ahead.
Qualifying offer. I think Nick won't get a lot of action, and then the Red Sox will make him, a deal that it may have, an option after next year, something like that. But I think he stays in Boston to become the, number 3, number 4 starter. I think he'll stay in Beantown.
I was surprised he rejected the qualifying offer. Maybe he wanted a multi-year deal. I don't think he's worth $20 million. Dad, by your standards, that's Max Fried, Nathan Eovaldi, and Pivetta. That's too many starters. So I have him staying in the American League, but becoming a Kansas City Royal.
I had that in my list.
Rounding out the rotation there a little bit. Lugo, Waka, Reagans, Nick Martinez, and Kyle Wright. Again, could be a really lethal 5. Dad, the other Nick Martinez, has already signed to be a Red, so we move on to Danny Jansen. The somehow a backup catcher is a top 50 free agent. No real depth to catching this offseason.
Correct.
Where is Danny headed?
But it's so funny. He did well with the Blue Jays, got traded, didn't do well with the Red Sox at all. And they thought he was going to be answered for a DH, catcher, whatever. The Cubs need a catcher desperately. If he can get back to the form that he was with the Blue Jays, he'd be a great fit with the Cubs. I have him going to the Cubs.
Me too.
All right.
I have the Cubs overspending on a horrible catcher. They might give him like $10 million a year, and that's a complete waste of money. But the Cubs like to spend and waste money. So
okay.
That's who I have.
Pretty good logic there.
Yeah. Dad, Jose Quintana, I have him returning to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You know what? That's a nice choice.
I thought that would help. They're a very young rotation. They need some quality veteran leadership, and I think Jose Quintana is that guy.
You mentioned that in the previous podcast. You thought they needed a veteran, kind of settle down or whatever. I have him going to Detroit.
Oh, kind of for the same reason, I guess.
Yeah. Get a quality, mid-30s starter. There's good experience. Settle people down. Say, hey, I'll be a 3rd, 4th starter. And he had a really good year this year, by the way. So I think he'd be a good fit for the Tigers.
You have Flaherty and Quintana. Okay.
Yeah. I think they're nice pieces.
That makes kind of the opposite of what I said to Kansas City. You would say that Detroit is the powerhouse, pitchers. I mean, they would have Skubal, Flaherty, Quintana, Casey Mize, and then Montero, Olsen, and Maeda kind of battling out for the 5th starter spot.
Yeah.
That's a good rotation, too.
Yeah, and that's a big improvement.
But if both things happen, and then they have just crazy AL Central rotations. Dad, who do you have for Michael Conforto? This was my most troubling name on the list. I had trouble.
A lot of options, but there's a team on the East Coast that needs outfielders badly. He could end up being, 4th outfielder, kind of like a DH, by him going to Phillies.
They are set in DH. Schwarberland is not playing the field, so you think he'll play left field and Marsh at center? Okay.
Correct.
That's just money. Again, I'm not going to be dogging really any Conforto picks. Wherever he lands, fine. He gives me, because his name is Michael, he gives me Michael Brantley vibes. So with that, I put him on Houston. As a aging veteran, a left field needy team. Maybe Alvarez plays a little left and he DHs sometimes, but I think the combo of Dubon, McCormick, and Myers fill out center field, and Conforto, Tucker, and Alvarez get the corners and DH.
Okay.
Dad, Max Scherzer.
Go ahead.
No, if you, I think I don't know whose turn it is.
Me neither. I lost track.
Yeah.
But Mad Max,
He's a man.
He's going back to one of his roots cities. I have him going to the Tigers.
Oh, I like that thought, but you have too many Tigers now.
I know. It's my last one.
Yeah, you're hedging your bets. Maybe one of these happens. I have the same thought, but I have the Nats.
Okay.
I have him finishing his career with his multiple Cy Youngs. I don't know if he's being that quote-unquote ace, but I don't think once the Nats spend money on Alonso, it's season tickets. I don't know how many calls I've gotten already this November from the Nats front office for buying one game ticket this year. Hey, you want to buy season tickets? We really need people to buy season tickets. We'll throw parking passes at you. So clearly they're kind of desperate. And I think a Max Scherzer would really benefit a young rotation. Just that mentorship gives them a grace period before Josiah Gray gets back. Pete Alonso, again, they were teammates in New York. I think that adds up a little bit to me. I don't know if he's truly a one anymore, obviously being 40 years old, but does he have 20 starts, 15 starts in him, plus maybe a couple in the postseason? If that happens for the Nats, I think they're still a year away. I think Scherzer could still get, 15 more wins, get more strikeouts, bump up those Hall of Fame numbers. But I like the fact that I really thought Diamondbacks maybe could make a splash for him too. So we were thinking of reunion at some point, him no matter what.
Yeah. I think he's probably only has 1 year left, so might as well make it, a return engagement somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That AJ Minter, I have a Ranger. I think he's from Texas, and the Rangers need relievers. So not much depth to that research, but I have Minter as a Ranger.
He is definitely needed on the East Coast. Okay. So there's a team that really needs to fix their bullpen because they lost a couple of very good pieces. He goes to the Phillies as a left-handed power reliever. You
really think the Phillies have more money than they do?
I do. I really like their GM. They're gonna find money, but I think
Clay Holmes, Conforto, and Minter.
Yeah. So who'd you pick for Minter again? Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's that. I think he's more like a 2-year, $24 million guy.
Well, you know what? They throw around money these days. It seems like the average salary is between $8 and $12 million.
I wish my average salary was between $8 and $12 million. Dad, I already leaked earlier that I picked the Yankees for Goldschmidt. Where is Paul Goldschmidt going?
He goes to the Nationals because they're not going to get Alonso.
Okay, so at least we're kind of on the same mindset of who needs first baseman.
Yep.
That would be great as well. I think that's a great follow-up if they don't. Hey, let's get a former MVP, possible Hall of Famer, Gold Glove first baseman. Yeah. Sure. Pete Alonso's just younger and more power.
Right, and there's some trade-offs there, but again, good fit for the Nationals, veteran leadership. Boy, a young team could really use him.
Yeah. Dad, who do you have the other catcher on our list, Kyle Higashioka, going to?
Going to the Nationals.
Interesting. To kind of supplement Ruiz.
Correct.
Okay. I have Gary Sanchez, who's not on our list, being a Nat.
Okay.
Because I think they need a little bit more pop. Higgy doesn't have that pop. I have them rejoining the Padres. I think they really liked Higgy out in San Diego, and I don't think he's going to be... Somehow he's, I think, better than Danny Jansen, but for some reason he'll cost less than Danny Jansen.
He had 17 home runs this year.
That's probably his career high, if I had to guess.
Yeah. He didn't have a high batting average, but he has 17 home runs.
Okay.
So he was a big part of the Padres' offense. Didn't expect that from him.
Dad, I'm looking at some things real quick. Just to look at pitchers. You don't have a... How's this possible? You don't have a single starter so far going to the Mets. Do you know that?
I don't know that, but I'm glad you told me that because I'm trying to think as my pages go on that might be true.
Well, they definitely need pitching, and Walker Buehler is joining the New York Mets rotation. This is not in reaction to my dad. I was just seeing how many I have going to the rotation. I have Flaherty, I have Severino, and now I have Walker Buehler. So their rotation is flushed out. in not isn't Flushing still? Who knows? It's flushed out in Flushing. So about that.
Yeah.
Dad, who do you have Walker going?
I have him going to the Orioles on a 1-year deal because he didn't have a great bounce back from the injuries.
He had a good postseason.
Correct, and that's what they're going to be banking on for him to come back and be the number 2, maybe whatever role. But he's a great candidate for a 1-year contract, so he can opt out and get a longer contract as time goes on.
5 of my dad's last 6 picks have been in driving distance of our house. You've had 2 Phillies, 2 Nats, 1 O.
I'm an East Coast guy.
Yeah, clearly there's some bias here, guys. Dad, Kirby Yates, who do you have?
Phillies.
Again, I think that guys just tune. If you want to tune out, I understand. It's just going to be Phillies, Washington, and the Orioles from here on out from this guy.
No, not at all.
Dad, what's hilarious is I have the Nats.
Okay.
So I think you were saying earlier about who did you pick to go to the Nats as a reliever? I thought you had a Nat reliever. Jeff Hoffman.
Yes.
I think they don't spend the money on Hoffman, and I think Kirby Yates is actually better, and he's probably will be okay with a 1-year deal.
Yes, he's 38.
So I think the Phillies are looking more for an answer, and that's why they're going to give a multi-year deal to Carlos Estevez, and they're not going to be okay with a 1-year deal Kirby Yates.
Okay.
But do you think the opposite? Do you think Phillies want a 1-year deal for a closer?
I think Kirby gets a 1-year deal with the Phillies.
I know, but you want are the Phillies looking for a 1-year closer?
Yes.
Okay. I think they're looking for a more sustainable backing option. I don't think they want to look every single offseason.
A lot of relievers get like a 1 or 2 year deal now, not any more than that, but a lot of them kind of like go in and prove yourself. That's why there's so many relief pitchers on the market every free agent year. So, I mean, there's a boatload of relievers, throughout the top 50 that seem, and then the great thing about 1-year contracts is the team bombs, they trade them off. Think of all the relievers get traded at the deadline.
Always.
Yeah, so I think that's part of it.
Dad, what 95 team is Michael Soroka going to?
He's in the Midwest. He's with the Brewers.
I could see that as a repair. I think it's a decent pick. I have a different sort of former injury going out there. Is it just because the Brewers can fix him?
Correct, and they have some room, and I think, they can give him some time to get back and everything else. So I think the Brewers are a nice fit.
Okay.
Who do you have?
I have him going to the Giants. You have had a lot of people obviously going to the Giants as well. That is my, I think, only third Giant. I have Frankie Montas. So Montas, Gleyber Torres, and Michael Soroka kind of figuring it out there. Giants, again, aren't making the splashy picks, but they're adding a lot of the $15-20 million a year guys. And I don't think Soroka, will get any of that. I think Soroka might get like $8-9 million a year and just hope for an upside. That's as much as I think Milwaukee would be willing to give him. And San Francisco will be, hey, here's Logan Webb and some other people. Here's Frankie Montas. Here's how to come back from injury, just like Frankie did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I low end risk 1-year deals maybe with an option.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a good deal for him because he's got to come back. So again, how soon he come back. A lot of these pitchers come back like mid-year. Yeah. That boy, they're counting them, or else the trade deadline be very busy with pitchers.
Mm-hmm. Dad, I have Andrew Kittredge becoming an Oriole. He's again big hair, big beard. I could see Nats. I could see Philly. I could kind of see, unfortunately, the same teams. They all need bullpen help. Who do you have him going to?
Cubs.
Okay, I could see that beard keeping him warm. It wasn't designed to be funny, people. It wasn't. He's still laughing. I don't get it. So they have Carlos Estevez and Andrew Kittredge.
Yes, one setup, one closer.
They have all right.
They really need relief pitching badly.
Maybe, Dad.
If they have the money. You know how a lot of money came off the books.
Dad, that's if they want to spend it. You know what?
But that's even before they
Let's spend $8 million on a manager, guys. That really helped us.
Yeah, it really made a difference.
Yep.
Same record as the year. Oh, did you know David Ross turned down the bench job with the Orioles?
He probably just wants out of baseball.
No, he wants to get back in baseball, but only as a manager.
That's fair. That's fair.
I just thought that'd be getting back in baseball, and most bench coaches, get promoted and all that stuff, but he turned it down.
Yeah, he doesn't want to he wants to be the captain.
Yeah.
Dad, Kyle Gibson. I think Kyle Gibson is always an underrated signing. Healthy, get you 160, 150 innings a year.
Consistently, yeah.
Pretty healthy. He's going to get you a 4 ERA, but he's going to get you innings. Who needs innings?
Rangers.
I don't think as bad as the Cleveland Guardians. I think the Cleveland Guardians get Kyle Gibson on like a 1 year, $15 million contract.
Okay. He did well last year, and he did well with the Orioles 2 years ago. You could always count on him to battle, and, he keeps you in the ball game. So he's a very valuable starting pitcher.
I still can't believe you haven't signed a single damn Met. So you have Sean Manaea as a Ranger, and that's it. And then, obviously, Kyle Gibson. Okay. At least that adds up for your signing thoughts, too. Yeah. Dad, it is kind of funny. I have Tommy Kahnle becoming an Oriole, so I'm very bullpen-needy teams. What's your thoughts?
Rangers.
All right, so now we've entered a fourth team has entered the chat. So it's always bullpen help is Phillies, Orioles, Nats, or Rangers. Noted.
They're going to be damn good if they get all these guys.
You're just adding so. Look at this. I've kept your list going. 10 people in a row. It's 4 teams.
You know what? I can measure up things in a heartbeat. I go, hey, they need this.
Oh my God. Okay. That the original Ha-Seong Kim out of San Diego, where's he going?
Braves.
To be their second baseman?
Correct.
Or shortstop?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, make fun of that.
I think it makes sense. I had the Nationals.
Okay.
Again, sticking with everybody. One of us is picking one of those 3 teams consistently. I think Kim isn't going to be healthy come April, and the Nationals are not in a win now, compete now mode in April. I think they will get better and more competitive, but I think they allow time for Kim to rest, get healthy before immediately needing him. I think a team like Atlanta, that's the only drawback, is they do need immediately. So Arcia, hey buddy, be our starting shortstop, but when Kim comes in, you're to the bench. That's kind of tough. I can see pretty much all the other teams we've talked about our second baseman going to, whether it's San Francisco, whether it's a replacement in Seattle, if the other Kim doesn't go there. I can see the Cubs, I can see Dodgers, I can see Boston too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if the Brewers too, if he's willing to take a less of a deal because of his injury. Dad, Shane Bieber, former Cy Young winner.
Going to the Mets.
Yeah. Did you really have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Possibly. That would be a great signing for him.
Yeah.
I have the Orioles. And I'm pretty confident they'll get either them or Manaea. I don't know about both, but I bet both regardless.
Okay.
That I think they could market a former Cy Young winner coming to Boston.
Come Baltimore.
Sorry, coming to Baltimore. Maybe I'm speaking into what I really want. Coming to Baltimore, I think that's more marketable than Sean Manaea.
I think because it got so many guys coming back mid-year, I don't think the Orioles are a good bet. I think they're going to stay away just because of Tommy John. That makes a lot of pitchers coming back mid-season for them. They need somebody pretty quickly. Just talking.
Speaking of those Tommy Johners, Justin Verlander, Dad?
Giants.
You have too many Giants, Dad. You just have too many Giants. You've replaced their whole rotation.
Yes.
So what happens to Robbie Ray now?
He might get traded.
No, he's not. He's not. Justin Verlander stays with Houston and retires, and I don't see another option. I just think it makes sense, a 1-year final contract at some much cheaper reduced rate.
Yeah, and that is a swan song.
Yeah. I think Verlander and Scherzer both retire this year.
Okay.
Now we get into some new Asian names. So the next 10 people, 3 are non-Americans. Tamayuki Sugano is a slightly younger, I think he's 27-year-old starter out of Japan. Where does Tamayuki Sugano go?
Boston Red Sox.
Okay, I could see that. I think you're adding too many Red Sox. I have Padres. They have been connected. I mean, that was the Woo Suk Go guy. If you remember him, he was my favorite guy. I don't know what even team he's on anymore. And then they have Matsui in their bullpen. They had Kim for a while, so there's
Darvish.
Yeah, there's always a connection to either Korea or Japan. So I think whether it's Sugano, Ogasawara, I hope I just said that right. Or Roki Sasaki. I think the Padres end up with one of them. I think they'll take Sugano.
Okay. I'm with you. And Padres, I think, can come up with some money. Just got to trade a bad contract to get some money up.
And again, they really only need one starter. And I think Sugano would be something like a 3-year, $24 million, maybe a little bit more. But it's hard to prove yourself,
It's funny, as we talk about salaries and everything, we talk about 15, 25 million, just matter of factly. Think of how much money that is in real life.
It's uncountable.
Think about that. We're talking about people to play a game and to throw a baseball or hit a baseball, making millions a year. Flip it 30 years ago, you're talking they might get $250,000 a year, and that was for the good players. Just think how the prices have escalated, and we talk it matter of factly.
Because tickets have escalated, because everything's escalated.
I know, but it's kind of humorous to think about it that way.
Yeah. Well, you saw the first $1 million contract, right? Wasn't it like Darryl Strawberry or something like that in like the late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, it could have been good, quite good in too back then.
And now what? That contract is nothing.
Yeah,
that's
it's not even league minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad, David Robertson. I have Yankees as a swan song as well.
I have them coming back to the East Coast, just a little further down I-95, back to the Phillies. To add to that bullpen.
If you can't see me at home, I've just done full through the table. I think what I did, Dad, and this really helped me, I looked at my breakdown of who got people and who didn't. I think if you look at this breakdown, you go 87 Toronto, 64 Giants, and then everyone else is a Philly, Nat, or Oriole. And you'll be shocked that there are other teams in baseball that deserve some conversations.
Yes.
You've given nothing to, I don't think you've given anything to Milwaukee. I don't think you've given any additional things to the Angels. I don't think we can just go ahead and skip.
You're the one that said the Angels are done.
I do think that, but that doesn't mean you think that. You have no Angels. I'll tally your stuff up. You definitely have no Marlins. You have no Reds. You have no Rockies. You have no Athletics. You have no White Sox. You have no Rays. You have no Twins.
I got a Twin coming up.
All right, we'll see about that. I got a Rocky coming up, people, in Colorado watching us. Dad, Shinosuke Ogasawara. I definitely messed it up again. He's what I believe is a little older, but better than Sugano. So who would like a better but older starter?
Minnesota Twins.
Okay. There's a Twin, guys. I don't think they'll be able to spend the money, but go ahead, because they have to pay the posting fee and the salary, don't forget.
Well, I think they have to do something to try to shore up their team.
So let's go get a guy no one's heard of?
They're taking a chance.
The guy suck is in his name, Dad.
I think they're going to take a chance to try to bolster that starting rotation. They may not have the pocketbook for some of the other starters or want to gamble. I think this is a safer bet, and I think Twins do something.
Keep in mind, he said Giants a lot. I have not. This is a Giant pick for me. Again, my picks for the Giants are like Michael Soroka. Like they're just hope something clicks. It is Gleyber Torres. It's Frankie Montas. If one of those three of those starters click, I think the Giants will be happy. But I like Shinosuke. I'm just gonna call. I think that's his first name's easier. I think he's going to be a little bit better than Sugano. Watch this in 5 years, and Shinosuke will be out of baseball, and Sugano will be pitching the All-Star game. But that's how life goes. Well, good luck getting a Twin. Thanks for some representation, though. Dad, I have a fun pick. I have Harrison Bader being a Pittsburgh Pirate.
You know what I had him on my list?
Who do you have him going to?
Angels.
Look, it's finally at the end of the list. You got some people going.
Well, you got to give me a chance.
So he's a center fielder. So that means Mike Trout moves off center.
Correct. Okay. He's willing to do that, by the way.
Okay. I would hate to be the one to replace him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be that guy.
You know what? I think this is the year they trade him, Pat. I really do.
I think O'Neal Cruz should stay at short. This is my... If O'Neal Cruz is a center fielder for Pittsburgh, then I'm wrong on this pick. But I think you should stay at short. Having a 6'7" guy at short like Elly De La Cruz helps with defense. It's hard to hit over those kind of people. Bader is a fast center fielder, complements Reynolds, and whoever else they might add in right field. So I like Bader in Pittsburgh. think he would look good. He kind of look, with long hair, looks like a pirate.
Okay.
You know? All of them, Reynolds, Zawinski, Bader, they could have like a pirate theme going. I don't know.
Would he wear eye patch?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. He might only put eye black under one eye. That could be a fun signature look. Dad, Spencer Turnbull. Who do you have him going to?
Padres.
Okay. Yeah, nobody knows what he's listening to. I'll just talk. I have him going to the Brewers. My dad picked Michael Soroka for the same thing. It's just get this former talented player that's been through injuries to a more stable situation. And hopefully that...
And you have him go to Brewers?
Yeah, Dad, I have him going to the Brewers.
The one-liner.
I think that's funny.
It
It's better than an eye patch.
That's why I'm laughing. I can see him start talking. He had a little bandana going on. Yeah.
I like Harrison Bader. Remember during COVID, he was substitute teaching in St. Louis?
Yes. Yeah, I think he's a real good ball. I think he's underrated. He just didn't have a good year offensively.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. Funny.
He's never known for his bat. Dad, we have 3 honorable mentions to replace our 3 signed players.
Yeah.
That is Max Kepler, JD Martinez, and Roki Sasaki.
Where do you want to start? Roki?
Sure.
Roki's going to Seattle.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell me more. You realize they have 6 unstarters.
Yes.
Okay.
But that kind of paves the way for a trade, and I think
Multiple trades.
It's all international money, and that doesn't touch the payroll and everything else. Again, they have the Asian type of influence, whatever. He's very young. He could really be a huge addition to Seattle. They may win that battle just because of culture and getting close. He's on record saying he'll be close to Japan so he can fly back and forth. So I think definitely he's going to try to be on the West Coast.
He'll be a Dodger.
Okay.
I think this is one of the easier picks of the draft. Who doesn't want to play with Ohtani? The Dodgers, again, this is not a salary. This is, like you said, it's paying him league minimum until he is ready for free agency. It's like getting free money. And so I think the Dodgers, the odds of, again, them signing Blake Snell doesn't deter me at all to this. Deter me at all. Roki Sasaki was outside, I guess, Shohei was the highlight of that Japanese World Baseball Classic team. And now they're going to be both in the same team.
Think about their rotation.
Yeah. He's still young. He still has to adjust to, just like Yamamoto has adjust to, American hitting. So, what's the best way to do that than a 6-man rotation or 7-man rotation?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you talk about being a stacked pitching staff.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to win a series. Wow. Unbelievable.
There's your 105-plus win team.
Yeah.
Dad, let's go Kepler. I want to end on JD.
Max is going to Baltimore.
To play right?
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
I really could.
I think it fits the Orioles, financial structure. He'll probably get like a 2-year deal or maybe even a 1-year deal. He is a serviceable outfielder, kind of like, Hayes and everything else, but he's got a little more pop. I think he'd be a good fit.
I have my one. If you guys really watch this podcast in 5 years, I haven't picked a Rocky. Max Kepler to Colorado.
Not going to happen.
Someone needs to replace Blackman in that right field DH role. I think they desperately need someone that's a 2-year, $20 million player. Kepler needs to kind of have solidified a playing position in Minnesota. He always seemed to have not a stable guarantee. Well, today we're going to have you in left. Today we're going to have you DH. I think he needs 162 games in right field to see what he can do. And boy, oh boy, does he have that leash in Colorado.
I bet you another $20 he doesn't end up in Colorado.
No. I think it's a risk pick, but I'll take the risk.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't think he'll end up in Baltimore either, but I think it's better odds in Colorado.
Okay.
Dad, to close it out, JD Martinez is coming home.
Yes.
To the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I like that pick.
Yeah, remember him?
Yeah.
Remember him in good old Chase Field?
Yeah.
I think, again, hired gun. Him, Arizona, and Cleveland, either Jock Peterson or JD Martinez. I just went with this switch up that JD Martinez could obviously be a Guardian.
Yeah.
Jock Peterson could stay in Arizona, but I think I'm okay with how I have those picks.
But then he fills a little bit of first base, too.
I don't think so.
No, it's strictly DH.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the last time JD fielded.
Okay.
Probably a long time.
Okay.
Who do you have? Do you have in Boston?
No, I have him in New York. Yankees.
I don't think there was a Yankee, Dad. You said coming home.
Well, East Coast.
Oh, okay.
East Coast. Sorry about that.
I really thought he was in Arizona. He was there for 1 year. And then he got traded to the Boston Red Sox. That's how I knew he was a Diamondback.
But he made a big name for himself as he went through Boston and then went on from there.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Houston could definitely use him, too.
Yeah, I mean, he had good years in Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, in Boston, excuse me.
Yeah. I'm seeing what the last time he's played the field in. What do you think it is?
2 years ago?
Now, this is tough. For the Dodgers, when he was a Dodger, he played 3 games in left field.
Wow.
For a total of only 12 innings.
Okay.
Nothing in 2022. In 2021, he played 36 games in the outfield. In 2020, tough to call that season. He only played 6 games in the field. Boy, oh boy, he hasn't had more than 100 games in the outfield since 2017. Wow. So he is a DH, people.
I thought he played a little first base along the way.
Never an inning.
Interesting. Okay.
So you have a Yankee being a DH, JD Martinez. I don't know if his personality likes New York. I think he could have got more money in San Francisco, and he chose the Mets because he liked those stadiums. So I think he's a little choosy with where he plays his final years. I don't think he'll pick the Yankees in that culture.
Man, this is fun.
Dad, best of luck to you. $50 on the line plus.
We didn't shake.
$50 on the line, and then $20 is for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays making the playoffs or not a pick. Yeah. That's why I didn't have a note. A breakdown, just so people at home that care like me, like that nerd I am. I had 30 of these 50 going to the NL, with 20 going to the AL. So that's not a real good even split. And obviously I had majority going to the NL East and the NL West. 24 out of the 50 in the NL East and West alone. The Central teams are the smaller portions, kind of. I don't have any Reds. I don't have any White Sox. I don't have any Twins. I don't have any Athletics. I don't have any Miami Marlins. I don't have any Blue Jays. I don't have any Rays. So it'll just be an interesting little shakeout. I love surprises. Max Fried to the Tampa Bay Rays. It's coming. You heard it here first, folks. No, I think it'll just be fun once December hits that we'll finally get some news. That's what I would like. I would like more trades, and I would like more dominoes to fall and analyze these trades and see how far off or how right we were.
Interesting to note to the true baseball fans out there, the winter meetings are now compacted. Back in the day, they kind of went from Sunday night to Friday. Now it's more Monday to Wednesday. So in that week of, I think it's December 9th to the 11th, those 3 days are going to be, intense because the GMs are not together for the whole week anymore. So I think the news will come out of that week fast and furious. So
it's in Dallas this year, folks. So bring your cowboy hats on December 9th through the 12th. All right, so you might have to be a little patient now, you hear? And again, it's December 9th through the 12th. That is a Monday through a Thursday, but probably most action coming to that 9, 10, 11. All right, you all come back now, and you follow us, all right? We're a little loopy after 8 episodes. At Pastime Podcast _
You got to throw you here. After you sing, you here?
You here?
Yeah, that's what I thought the text would say.
I thought it was, y'all come back now. Is it you here?
I thought so.
I thought it was he just here.
Oh, whatever.
Y'all come back here.
Yeah,
I guess you here. I guess it is you here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're texting,
let us know.
Tell us how wrong the East Coasters are. Chicago and Maryland here.
Yeah.
Chicago and Baltimore. But again, thank you guys for joining us. If you like our antics, you definitely should subscribe again to our YouTube below. Follow us on Facebook, the Father and Son Pastime Podcast. And again, Pastime Podcast _ on Twitter and Instagram. This has got to be like 6 hours of total time, Dad.
At least.
We're almost at episode 150. It's been 5 years of doing with you guys.
617.
We've been busy. We hope you enjoyed. We hope it's educational. We hope it's entertaining. And again, if you
had some laughs,
if you had any fun, please post it. Please share with your fellow fans and family. We love to see new subscribers, new comments, new notifications. So thank you once again, and enjoy the off season.